Hi guys, today is October 12th, 2020, and futures are pointing to higher open as talks between House Democrats and Senate Republicans on stimulus package remain in a stalemate pretty much, and neither side wants to give an inch. So pretty much we're waiting for this for the decision and for negotiations. But people kind of assumes that we're still gonna get a deal, and futures are higher. On top of that, Nasdaq futures are higher by almost 2%, and on the heels of the fact that we'll have an Apple event tomorrow, and investors are very excited about that. So okay, let's jump to SPY ETF for S&P 500, and it looks like SPY is going higher. I mean, to me, I mean, it's not overbought or anything, but it's not going to be in a straight line. So I would caution for the people to just start buying everything, because it's a very complacent environment to me, and this could turn on a dime. So caution is warranted here, and but in general, SPY will I think chuck higher. Okay, so let's jump to stocks, and before we do that, if you want to see my trades on pretty much everyday basis, my portfolio, you can check out the Patreon link in the description. Okay, so let's jump with Apple, since I mentioned Apple. So Apple is going to hold a launch event where it will reveal its this year's iPhone lineup and major case redesign since 2018, and the expectations are running very high, and they will have a first 5G phone. But like I said, expectations are extremely high, and it could become a sell on a news event. And previously, it became like that. It happened that way. Apple would rise before the launch, and then on the launch, it just falls. So I would caution you to buy Apple at these prices right now, even though it may go higher. But judging on previous history, on the event itself, it may fall. So it could be a buy on a rumor, sell on a news thing. Okay, so that's Apple. AMD. AMD is, you probably know, is buying Xilinx as a semiconductor company, and it's a pretty good buy, and reportedly it's buying it for $30 billion, and shares of Xilinx, XLNX, rose obviously before on this news, but shares of AMD fell. But in general, AMD is a really good company. I think it's a really good pickup long term. Okay, speaking of semiconductors, NXPI. NXP Semiconductors, stock symbol NXPI, raised its outlook for the first quarter, for the just ended quarter, saying it had seen material improvement in demand across all its markets, particularly in automotive and mobile. So NXPI is, I think it's a buy at this point, and even though it's trading very high, but considering the strides they are making, it's a pretty compelling buy to me. Okay, Disney company. Okay, shares are trading higher, and reported it will release its new Pixar movie Soul directly into its Disney Plus service on Christmas Day. And I mean, Disney is struggling with their parks, walk-in parks, and in general, I like Disney personally as a company, as a client, as a user, but as a stock, it could be dead money for a while. But the shares are rising pre-market as everything else is rising. So, I mean, if you're looking at Disney for like 3 to 5 years, it's a great buy. If you're looking at Disney for another 3 to 6 months, I don't know, maybe it could be other places where you could park your money. Okay, Gilead. GILD. Gilead Sciences released its final data on remdesivir study, which showed that the drug's recovery. That drug is effective and cuts the recovery time in 5 days compared to placebo. And Gilead is trading very low. I mean, like low 60s. I think it's very low for Gilead. Even though remdesivir is not going to bring a lot of revenue, but it's a name recognition for Gilead, and they have other drugs, especially cancer treating drugs in the pipeline, and I think it's very low. Like even though it's trading at like $64, I think it's a buy at this point. Okay. GE. Okay, so GE was upgraded by Goldman Sachs, resumed coverage with the buy rating and 12 months price target of $10, praising CEO Larry Culp for the job he has done. And I actually agree with Goldman Sachs analyst, and I think GE is pretty interesting buy, but it could be a long-term buy. I mean, it's not going to be like you buy it at 690 and it's going to straight to 10, like Goldman Sachs price target. I mean, it's going to take a while, but if you're taking a long-term view, GE is pretty compelling buy, just based on the great CEO they have, Larry Culp. I mean, I like the CEO. EXE. HYLN. So HYLN shares are rising, and it's a utility company that was noted as a favorite idea by Corvex management analyst, who said that the company's stock is cheap and well positioned and could rise by 30%. Actually, technically, it looks pretty good to me. I mean, if the analyst says that it's cheap, I mean, I believe them, and I think it's interesting buy at this point. EXC. Okay, ZM, Zoom Video. Okay, so Zoom Video is higher this morning as everything else, and it's been higher for like forever. It has a great run since like March lows, and Mizuho began coverage of Zoom with a buy rating. The analyst also believes that October 14th Analyst Day will serve as a catalyst for the stock. I mean, Zoom Video is trading pretty high, in my opinion, and I mean, maybe October 14th will be a catalyst for the stock, but usually these things become a sell in the news events. So I would be careful buying a Zoom before this event, actually. Okay, Run. Okay, Sunrun. Sunrun had a tremendous run since March lows and since announcing actually acquisition of Vivint Solar, and it's been trading in unforeseen heights. It's like unbelievable heights to me. A tremendous run from like $22 or so to like all the way to $80 something, and it came down since then, but still it's trading around $71, and I don't know, is the Magda crossing down here? I think it's going to trade in the range a little bit, and I would just leave this alone. And it was reported that Tiger Global Management reported 12% passive stake in the company. And that's good news, but still I would wait for Sunrun to come down a little bit, because I think the run is over to me for now, and it could run more on if Joe Biden wins the presidential election. But for now, I would just leave it alone. Okay, ACB and TLRY. Okay, and Hexo. Okay, so cannabis stock companies, the stocks of cannabis producers are rising again after Vice Presidential nominee Senator Kamala Harris said that Biden administration would decriminalize marijuana at federal level. So these stocks had been in a world of hurt recently, and they're I mean, these stocks are not as good as people realized. That a lot of regulations put pressure on the price of the stocks. Okay, so even though the Kamala Harris said that they will decriminalize, and even you have to taken into account if they win the election. The shares may take may rise a little bit, but in general, I would be careful with these stocks because a lot of regulation required for these stocks, and they're bounded by this in general by regulation. Okay, AZN. Okay, so ACN struck a 486 million deal, and that's AstraZeneca, with the US government to develop and supply up to 100,000 doses of its COVID-19 antibody treatment. So AstraZeneca, in my opinion, is a buy. I mean, not only because of this treatment that they have struck a deal for, but because they have other things in the pipeline. They have a lot of things approved by FDA in the last 2 years, and AstraZeneca, in my opinion, is a buy. Okay, Levi. Levi Strauss and Company. So Levi is higher this morning. It's a jeans and apparel maker after it was upgraded to overweight at Morgan Stanley, which notes management very quick response to difficult retail environment as well as strong revenue growth. So they reported pretty good earnings to me, and I don't know why stock didn't perform better, because the earnings were very good to me, and I think the shares may go higher from here. LEVI. Okay, so Helion. A lot of people ask me about Helion a lot. So, and I explained previously, and I will explain again that why Helion shares are trading lower, because there's just too much supply on the heels of the fact that Helion upped its offering, as far as I know, to 250 million shares, plus existing Helion shareholders are selling, and it created a wave of sellers, actually panic sellers from Tortoise and some short sellers, and until this supply is exhausted, shares will be under pressure for a while. But in general, I think it's a pretty compelling buy, in my opinion. It's a good company, good technology, and in long term it will go higher. Okay, GM, staying with automotive theme, reported 12% increase in China sales during the July through September quarter. It's the first quarterly increase reported by GM in China in 2 years. Okay, so shares of GM are trading higher, but I mean, it's again, it could go higher, but I would rather be in Tesla, for example, than in GM or Ford. That's just to me, and if you believe in GM and you have a long-term perspective on GM, then you buy the stock. But in general, I like Tesla more than GM or Ford or any other automaker out there. Okay, Twitter. So Twitter was upgraded to a buy from hold at Deutsche Bank, pointing to improving growth during the second half of this year and a compelling bull case. Okay, so shares are higher, and in general, I think Twitter is trading a little bit too high to me. I mean, I understand the bull case from Deutsche Bank, but in general, it's trading a bit too high. I would like the shares to come down to like low 40s before I buy it. Okay, and DKNG. Okay, shares are higher today, and it's been falling a lot recently because they have came out with the secondary offering at I believe at $52 per share, and plus the COVID cases happening in sports. So shares been under pressure, but today it's higher after it was rated outperforming new coverage of at Credit Suisse, which points to the company's marketing relationships and an acceleration in legalization of sport betting and online gaming in US. So in general, I think it was overbought before, and it came down, and now it's a good time to buy DKNG, in my opinion, because I think the shares will eventually go higher. Okay, that's it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, click the like button, and I'll see you Thursday.